Welcome back to the White Change channel and our series of videos about the business analyst mindset. Today we answer this question: what happens after business requirements have been analyzed and captured? Is the business analyst done? Can they move on to the next project and let someone else finish the job of building the solution according to requirements? The truth is, your job as a business analyst is never completely done. And the next principle of the BA mindset is: be part of the solution. Have you ever been told to stay away from solutioning? Usually it means staying open-minded and focusing on business needs first, without locking onto a particular solution. We should not interpret this advice, though, as staying away from designing and building the solution. On the contrary, you, a business analyst, play a key role in the development of the final product. On agile teams, this has already been built into the methodology. But even in waterfall projects, a business analyst's job is not done when requirements are signed off. Let's just think of a few things that need to happen after. Be ready that requirements may be misinterpreted at any time. A gap can be discovered in the middle of development. Missing information will require additional analysis. New team members, not familiar with requirements, will ask for training and knowledge sharing. Technology hurdles and integration challenges will push the team to go back to the drawing board and redesign a feature or assess which requirements can be sacrificed or modified. Then you might realize that someone has forgotten about one of the solution components. Often we forget about non-technology parts of the solution when we focus too much on what the software should do. And finally, but perhaps the most importantly, changes in business happen, whether we like it or not, and we have to react, modify the requirements, tweak the solution, and even change the direction of the project. In all these scenarios, you as a business analyst play a central role. You lead the discovery process, help stakeholders agree on the objectives, the problem, and the desired future state. You are also the right person to help the team deal with each of these situations. What should you do? First of all, always be ready to train, explain, clarify, and validate the understanding of other stakeholders. Recognize, analyze, and manage new requirements. As we talked about in previous videos, requirements will change, whether we like it or not, and we can take it personally. Whether you manage the changes through the product backlog, change requests, or release management, accept, analyze, and assess the impact of changes. Then you can work with your project team to find the best time and best way to adjust the solution to the changes. The next key point is that business analysts must be part of the solution design reviews. The goal is to make sure that the solution is designed to satisfy the requirements. Validate that the architects and designers understood and interpreted business requirements accurately and deal with misunderstandings and ambiguities. You would be surprised how something that you thought was crystal clear could be interpreted differently by technical people looking at the same thing from a different perspective. Of course, business analyst is also not infallible. Through the design phase, requirements gaps may be discovered by the development team, something that you may have missed. I still remember the developers I worked with 10 and 15 years ago that pointed to glaring gaps in what I thought was a complete set of requirements. And on top of all these reasons, think about this too. Participation in solution design activities is a fantastic learning opportunity for you. Another BA accountability is to support the quality assurance effort, contribute to test planning, review or recommend test scenarios, ensure adequate test coverage. You may need to clarify requirements for the test team and often participate or even manage the business acceptance testing phase. The next point I want to make is not about technology at all. We spend the bulk of the analysis effort on the requirements for business applications, but every solution has non-technology components. It is often part of business analyst's job to oversee the design and implementation of non-technology components of the solution. What could this be? Business process changes required to adopt and incorporate the solution. Communicating and promoting the new technology on your application to improve adoption. User training and documentation, including creating and updating user manuals, job aids, and training videos. Planning for sufficient production support, including training support teams and developing the support process. Internal communication materials to explain and broadcast changes to colleagues. Conducting training and knowledge transfer sessions. You may ask, isn't it project manager's job to do all this? A project manager may be the one tracking these implementation tasks. A business analyst, on the other hand, is the most suitable person to identify what is needed in the first place and to ensure the quality of these steps. You have a deep insight into the problem and the business process. You have spent endless hours with stakeholders to understand what they do and what doesn't work. You understand small details and nuances. You are the most natural choice for the agent of change to help your clients make the change successful. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the solution that your client needs to achieve its business objectives. The reason you're working on requirements, applying business analysis techniques, creating algorithms, is not to have a perfect backlog or a beautifully organized requirements document. The real success is not excellent requirements. It's the client satisfaction with the implemented working solution. Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize again one of the points of today's video. It's the role of business analyst in creating and sustaining organizational knowledge. As part of any project, we discover, collect, and organize it. Requirements analysis allows us to structure and create new knowledge. We also are responsible for capturing this knowledge and sharing it with others, not only during the project, but after that. We need to make sure that the understanding of business processes, rules, and user journeys is maintained and developed to help the next project, improve customer service, and support other objectives, such as developing business intelligence and strategic analysis. Here are some examples of how you can do that. Share the knowledge of requirements and the solution with the training groups, operational support, and business stakeholders. Ensure continuity of baseline requirements documentation. Update organizational knowledge base to reflect the changes introduced by the project. Train and mentor other business analysts. Capture questions, issues, and problems post-production. Track frequently asked questions. Conduct retrospectives and capture lessons learned, especially as they relate to the business analysis experience. When you follow this philosophy, you will indeed become part of the solution. So stay engaged throughout the whole solution lifecycle. Real requirements validation will continue after the requirements are signed off. The real measure of success of your works comes from stakeholder satisfaction with the implemented solution. At the end of the day, this is what will bring you job satisfaction. I'm Yulia, author of the book Business Analyst, A Profession and a Mindset. Thank you for following along, and let me know how applying the principles of the BA mindset helped you become better at what you do. Take care for now, and see you in the next episode.